The following program is brought to you in living color.
Ladies and gentlemen,
let the attack begin.
And now, the most eye-popping, jaw-dropping, smash-mouth, bone-crunching, heart-stopping, cutting-edge, interactive sports commentary show on the radio. Dorf On Sports. Now.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Like you said, it is Dorf On Sports. That means Brad Hanna. That means Jeff Rich. That means Michael Caruso. That means Fred Wallen in Los Angeles, California. And also now joining us, making his debut here on the program, none other than David Yorke from Umpires Media Incorporated. David, good morning, man. How are you? Actually, it's probably good afternoon to you. I think you're in Canada, right?
I am. I'm in Toronto, just afternoon, 12:34 here. Thank you very much. Glad to be with you. Really delighted.
We're happy to have you. Hey, real quickly, before we get into stuff, kind of explain what Umpires Media Incorporated is to our listeners.
Okay, so let me be very brief. I'm a cinematographer, producer, director, which means nothing. I've been doing that for many, many years. And I decided, because winters are horrible in Toronto, as anybody who comes from this area might imagine, I decided I would take the 5.5-week professional course. And on my way down there to the Jim Evans camp, now this is a school where one would go if you were in your early 20s and decided that this fakakta career, as you guys understand that,
of course,
is something that you want to do. And you go through all of that mishigas, if you will. But I decided it was just something that would get me better trained as an umpire. And on the way down, I decided, well, there's maybe an opportunity here to shoot the rules of baseball and put it in a high-def video compilation, and there you have it. I mean, that's really, really the Reader's Digest version of how I came up with it.
Okay, real quickly, explain to people, you used to be an umpire, right?
I still am an umpire. I'm an NCAA-ranked umpire, and I do some tournaments down there from time to time. And I do some umpiring at the senior levels here in college in Toronto as well.
David, Jeff Rich, good to be acquainted with you.
Thank you.
When I learned that we were talking to you, I went out and downloaded the app. But before I even downloaded the app, I thought of what is baseball's most obscure rule that I know and something I've never seen applied. And I think that it goes to the sentiment of the really what I believe to be the only rule book triple, the thrown glove rule. And a lot of people might not know about this, that if you throw your glove at the ball, it's an automatic triple unless the ball is going to be a home run anyway, and then you're awarded a home run. Have you ever called a game or even seen a game where that rule was applied?
Not until about 3 weeks ago. So let me back up a little bit.
That's amazing.
It used to be that if you threw your ball your glove at the ball and it stopped it from being a home run, it stopped being a home run, but you were awarded not a triple, it's a 3-base award. So, and I'll tell you, time is not called. So let's just assume that the shortstop throws his or her glove at the ball and doesn't hit it. That's nothing, of course. But some people will call time on that and then award the batter runner 3 bases and everybody else. That's not true. So now let's assume that the shortstop throws his or her glove at the ball and hits the ball. There's no time called because we have to allow whatever's going to happen. And then if the batter runner doesn't attain at least 3 bases and all the other runners 3 bases, time is called and the award. It's an award. Just like a home run is an award. A home run over the fence, not an in-the-park home run. So not to take up too much time here. If you hit one over the fence in fair territory, of course, that's a home run. But it's a dead ball. So in this case, if the batter runner, the home run hitter, if you will, trips and breaks his ankle, God forbid that happens, rounding first base, are you allowed to put in a substitute runner?
I don't know. I don't know. Help me.
That's why
Mr. Umpire, help me.
That's why you have the app. And let me be a little, promotional here, umpiresmedia.com/rules. Yes, you are, because, and here's the reason, it's a dead ball and a 4-base award. So, there are very obscure rules, but back to your point, about the most obscure rule. I really think it's balk, because people really don't understand what a balk is.
Well, the balk. There's been a few this year. Actually, it happened the other night with the Diamondbacks and then the Dodgers that scored a run for the Diamondbacks, and he was attempting to throw towards the third base side, and the third baseman wasn't covering, so he stops, and they called it a balk and awarded the Diamondbacks a run. Explain that again to me. It was didn't really look too comfortable to watch because I wasn't even too sure if it was even a balk myself.
Well, let's just understand what a balk is. A balk is a hesitation. We use that in common discourse. If you balked at somebody's idea, you hesitated, you didn't want to follow through. So let's apply that now to baseball. I'm not sure of the situation, but was there a runner at third base?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was first and third.
Okay. So sometimes the first and third baseman, depending on who's on and so on, not the old Abbott Costello routine, but who's on. If there's a runner at first, and let's just concentrate it on your situation. You got a runner at first, runner at third, and the batter's bunting. So sometimes both those infielders, first and third, will play in for the bunt.
Right.
Now, if the pitcher throws and completes the throw to third base, that's a balk. And the reason it's a balk is because the first baseman and the third baseman, in this case, aren't playing to hold the runner up.
Okay.
Fred, you got anything to throw at David?
Yeah, I have a question, Dave. When I was growing up, they said that the pitcher, if a guy was on first base or on base, period, the pitcher at some point had to hesitate for 1 full second. Somewhere around, I don't know when, it all changed where half a second, 3/4 of a second, 2 seconds. Is there a specific amount of time that a pitcher must hesitate before throwing if there's runners on base?
No, and I don't know where that obscurity comes from, but essentially, again, going to a balk, it's a hesitation move. The pitcher must make a direct step to the base. Must make a direct step. Now, you see a lot of pitchers, particularly Marcus Stroman here playing for the Jays, they need to tell the plate umpire what their move is. Now, many people, especially many sportscasters, don't know this, don't understand this. So a lot of pitchers, particularly most relief pitchers, are going to pitch from the set position rather than the windup. And sometimes they will do a little bit of a hesitation kick, but that's part of their routine. That's part of their natural pitching routine. And as plate umpires, I'm talking major leagues here, most of those guys understand it and know it. And if they don't know it, their supervisors certainly know it. And at every game, there's at least one supervisor who's going to chew those 4 guys out on the field over something.
Absolutely. Go ahead,
Umpire
Jeff.
locker room. I love that place. Yeah.
That's the voice of David Yorke, Umpires Media Inc., talking to us here on Dorf On Sports. And last question I have for you anyway is about the right-of-way. Batted ball, who has the right-of-way, the runner to the baseline or the fielder to take his route to field the baseball?
That's an excellent question, and I find a lot of young umpires that I supervise and train don't understand that. So there's interference and obstruction. Interference, 99% of the time, will occur on the offensive team. The 1%, if you will, is catcher's interference, where the catcher's glove hits the bat on the forestroke. That's coming around to hit the ball, not on the backstroke. Hits it on the backswing, it's nothing. So the runner here, and it's most important you understand this, the runner sets the baseline. It's not a straight line from first to second, second to third, third to home. Mm-hmm. That's not a straight line. Those lines down the foul lines, if you will, are not baselines. They're not runner's lanes. Of course, the first base has a runner's lane. So now if the first base runner is away from the bag and the throw is coming in from the catcher, the runner is allowed to deviate according to, because now they're going to round that base generally. So they're going to be not on that baseline as imagined from first to second. They're going to be cornering it or rounding it. That becomes the direct line to the base. Now, if the runner hits the baseman, second baseman, while the second baseman is in the act of fielding the ball, not going to the ball, not running to where the ball will be, but is in the actual act of fielding the ball, that's interference.
Interesting stuff. David, very, very good, man. I'm looking forward to getting an education from you each and every Tuesday about the rules about Major League Baseball and baseball in general, because they just don't make sense in a lot of ways. So we need you to explain this to us weekly.
A lot of questions, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
Appreciate you taking
much.
time with us, David.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. umpiresmedia.com/rules. Download the app. It's free. Thank you very much, guys.
Very good. We'll talk to you next week about it as well. Again, Umpires Media Incorporated, like he said. Download the app, get it, answer the questions that you just don't think you can, to be honest with you. And there's no better way than to get his app. So keep it close. On the other side, I don't know exactly who we got, but we got somebody calling us from the Arizona Rattlers. It's not Coach Guy, so keep it close. We'll let you know. On the other side is Brad Hanna, Jeff Rich, Dorfman, and this is NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060.